Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football. We're going to cover as much of the pre-season as we possibly can. Now, pre-season is one of these things that a lot of people really don't quite understand. They think, it doesn't matter. It does. It is the springboard that sets you up for your season. A bad pre-season ends up being a bad start of the season because form does carry on. It does go through. And it's not just form, it's attitude. So you can lose, that's okay, but it's how you lose that's always really important. And this first little clip here, I want to show you here about why it's so important that you start off on the front foot. And if you don't, this is how you're going to play your whole season, right? Now, if you watched my channel before, you're going to know how I talk about, you don't worry about marking this player here because the ball has to travel to him. And as the ball travels to him, your player here can go out and mark him and deal with the danger, so it's not really a hassle. Okay, so let's just move this forward and show you what the Man United player does, and this is really concerning because Man United were completely and utterly open for this whole game. They could have lost by 5, and that's no exaggeration whatsoever. I'm going to show you some of the goal scoring opportunities that Rothenstein and Sturgerberger had. That is definitely their name. But let's just watch this little first bit here and the lack of effort for, I think it's Marcus Rashford. When we zoom in, we'll have a little bit of a better look. Here we go. Now we can see the ball's in flight. So this is the moment where the player starts to sprint over and starts to close him down. Now you've got the left back not involved here. It's not his responsibility. He's tucked in because he's got a player in here. You know, there's 2 there. Sorry, there's 3 actually. 2 Man United players, 1. 2 Man United players, 1. He's kind of on his own. Right back needs to tuck in a little bit, but you can see that they're flooding players forward. So your winger here needs to be sprinting over here to actually pressure this ball. Okay, he doesn't. Watch, but it's not just about that he doesn't do it, it's his body language at the same time. Watch his run here. It's a casual jog. If he pressured that player on that first touch there, that player at this level that he plays at probably isn't good enough to bring it down under pressure, and he doesn't do it. But that means, well, he's not going to do it next week. If you're not doing it now, you're not going to do it then. Remember, you're only as good as your last game. And right now, your last game is you can't be bothered to run out wide and pressure a ball. Simply pressure a ball. It's just unbelievable. Then this guy ends up dropping his shoulder and smacking and hitting the post, by the way, from this shot here. That's why I'm saying it could have been a lot more than 1-0. United were very, very open. As he stopped at Bosch, digs it out from his feet, smashes it, and it hits the post. All because one player doesn't go over and close him down. Now also, I'm going to rewind it and show you something just a little bit more because I talk about this all the time in the Premier League. Which is just before he's taking his touch, just before he gets his shot away. Look at what Rashford is doing. He's got his hand up, telling somebody else what to do instead of actually just trying to win the football. He's not interested in his job. Remember what I always talk about is the 80-20. If 80% of the time you're focused on the ball and 20% of the time you're focused on somebody else, you are not focused on 100% of winning the ball back, and he is not. He's focused on trying to tell somebody else what to do instead of doing his job. And if he did his job, this shot wouldn't have come off. But you know what? Hey, what would I know, right? Okay, remember, this is pre-season. This is where you put the work in. So when this ball comes in over the top, your recovery runs have to happen fast. Well, because it's pre-season and you want to get in the habit of making those recovery runs. No one from United really bothers. People are just standing around watching, you know, because I think that's generally the coaching point at United. You can stand around and watch the ball. So when this happens here, this little knockdown, bump, there's a little bit of pressure here in the midfield, but because of the lack of effort and the lack of intensity to go and get the ball, it just ends up snowballing. Watch what happens. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Okay, yeah, that's definitely right. It's 7 actually, but you know. Let's watch what the difference is in intensity right now. The Rosenstein player right here is first to the ball, but because of the lack of effort on that simple recovery run, these 2 starting positions are not set in any way, shape or form to deal with this. So everybody is out of position. Nobody, look, between him and the goal, there's nobody to challenge here whatsoever. And of course, because he's playing for Rothenstein and Steinberger and he's not really a world-class football player, he doesn't just run and smack it into the net box. And if they were playing anybody in the Premier League, that's exactly what would have ended up happening. As we move this forward, look, you can see both the bounce and the touch. They're all closing in on him. But he knows he's not good enough. He knows he's not quite fast enough to do it. But then this is what gets even worse for United. It's like just genuinely schoolboy football where everyone is pressuring and trying to challenge the ball and they're completely leaving everybody else unmarked. And of course, there's no recovery runs from the forward lot to come back and help and fill the gaps here. So what there's a simple little dink pass over here into the middle. And there is, again, no one from United there to challenge. Now, this is a problem of shape and structure of the team. It's not about ability, and well, effort has a lot to do with it. If those recovery runs were made by those two players there, they would have been set in a starting position to win this ball and take it away. They're not. This is worrying. The player receives the ball there, gets it, knocks it on, one more, bosh, doesn't get the goal, but it's another really good goal scoring opportunity by Rothenstein and Steinenbergers. Another attacking run here by Rosenburg and Steinensteiners. So look at how static you've got these United players. Nobody is tracking this run. It's a simple run. Of course, everyone's so far back. I think this is one bazooka playing everybody on side. So this run is really simple. The pass doesn't even have to be accurate. Here's the funny thing is these guys don't even realise that these people are so deep and they have so much more room to play this pass. They think this is the offside line and they're trying to spring an offside trap, and they're not, because these clowns are so deep. But again, that's lack of effort. It's just so awful. Bosh, in it goes. Another opportunity that the keeper saves. Does a good job. I think Rosenburg's, I think they had like 22 shots on goal, which is just unacceptable. This is Man United. It doesn't matter what team you're putting out. That's still the badge they're supposed to be representing. They're still the club they're supposed to be representing. They can't let this happen, even in a pre-season game against a team from, I think it's Norway, and I think they're 11th or 12th in their league. It's awful. It's awful. Look at the space he's got inside the box. One lot think they're playing an offside trap. The other lot are trying to mark. It's just a mess. There's no cohesion at all. So identifying problems is one of your main things when you're a defender. Now, you can see this run is starting to happen and starting to get pulled away. Also, can you see this player here? He's not important in relation to where the ball is, but this player here, I bet it's probably Rashford, needs to come back in and start helping, because you can already see an overload starting to happen. Okay, so that means there's overload, 1v1, 1v1, and there's going to be an overload at some point. If you don't deal with it or try to get there early, you're going to be in all sorts of problems. So when this run goes and pulls this player away, watch the space happen. Bosh, as he starts to go, look, then the second run happens. And no one is cutting off this passing lane. Look at this midfielder, how far away he is from being able to cut the passing lane off or even pressure the ball. So when the ball gets played into this player, okay, this guy's out of position, great. But as soon as that happens, the other midfielder needs to be coming in and helping his teammate. But there's just no effort to recover for somebody else's somebody else's mistake. And all over, look again here, no running to come back and cover, and they just get left. Splits everyone with another simple pass, wapang, and hits the post. That's another time they've hit the post in this game. It's not a good team here, and it's Manchester United that they're playing. This is not good. I'm not going to play this clip fully because it's just a big bundle of a mess, but yet it's another goal-scoring opportunity that United are 6s and 7s defensively trying to get away. Again, here we go. We've got a simple pass that goes out wide here. This isn't anything special. There's a runner. Just track the runner. The guy that passed the ball, you stay with him. That's all. We're going to move it forward to when the cross comes in, and he doesn't bother. Same problem throughout this season entirely of last year at Man United. Just being lazy, not going with the runner. It's not that this guy's super fast. He just slows down his run and his jog, doesn't get there, and guess what? They'd have another shot. This time, Bosh hits the post again. That means they've hit the post twice and the bar once, and they get to score a goal in a minute against United. That is not good enough for a team of this low level playing against any Manchester United side ever. And it's just a lack of effort. I'm going to show another little bit of poor play here from United, even though it's a quality shot from this little wee kiddie. I think this is Rasmus Højlund. But what he doesn't identify that all he has to do is run into this space here. This defender can't tackle him because he'll be on the wrong side of him. Højlund's got enough pace. By the way, he doesn't even need pace because of the way this position of where this guy is. He can just run through and go that way. But he doesn't. He cuts inside and has a shot from about 35 yards out straight down the keeper's throat. The lack of being able to identify, there's the space, just go run into it. And they don't. I don't know what is going on at United, but that is just awful. He's got acres of space, take a touch, run it straight at the goalkeeper and get yourself a goal. And he doesn't. He cuts it inside and shoots. Insane decisions. Runs back into the traffic. This is where he is. All he had to do was run down the line. Didn't. Gets his shot off. It's a quality strike, but it's an easy save for the keeper, to be fair. Another simple ball out wide where no United player is putting any pressure on the ball whatsoever, so he gets to have a free cross into the box. Now look, well done. Absolutely shocking. Look, you can see he's got his hand up. He stood right next to you. Get back, get goal side, get in your starting position. So when the ball comes in, you're in a position to attack it. Nowhere near good enough. Look how far, I think it's one bazooka again. Look how far away he is from the actual point of the Rothenstein and Steigerberger receiving the ball and taking a shot off. He kind of messes it up, but this United, Bazooka's got to be closer. He's got to be much closer. Bosch ends up falling straight to this wee man's feet inside the 18-yard box, and of course he slots it away for the win. But overall from United, it's just a terrible lack of effort, energy, understanding of where they're supposed to be, and it doesn't matter who plays on your football team. You should still be playing the same system, and everyone should still know all their roles and responsibilities. And also, it's just the fact, if you don't go with the runners or pressure the football, which are two of the simplest things to do in the game, you're going to have a very, very hard, long season. Dosh snocks in, gets 1-0 for the win. I'll see you on the next pre-season game. Hopefully it's a little bit better than this one. Thanks a lot.